Well, hey there, Pine Hills Kendall Church. It's Pastor Marc coming to you with an update regarding our reopening and regathering of in-person worship services on Sunday mornings. So excited to bring you some specific, tangible updates, things that you can write on your calendar, hopefully even answer some questions that I imagine you have. First and foremost, we are going to be gathering in person for worship on Sunday, July 5th. We're very excited about this date. Our elders, our staff, our ministry team leaders, and a regathering team that we built specifically to help us move through some of these kind of tricky decisions, all feel good about this date for a number of reasons. Primarily, this moves us beyond, puts us in the good stage of time that Governor Holcomb has recommended for groups like churches our size. So we're excited to say that, yes, we're being obedient and submitting to the wisdom of our state leaders. Now, some specific things going on that we want you to know about over the next couple weeks, because there are some really big changes coming. I don't want anyone to think that when we come back in person, it's going to look exactly like it did at the beginning of March, because that's just not how life is right now. So a couple major updates. The first is a big one. Location. We're actually going to be meeting in a new location. We're temporarily moving to the Kendallville Event Center at 615 Professional Way over by Applebee's here in town. This space will allow us to create a more socially distant worship environment with more space for people. Also, whereas when we met at Northside, we were only having access from 7 a.m. to about 1 p.m., we're going to have access during the week, so our teams can spend more time sanitizing, arranging the building, and making sure it's a great fit for our church. So we'll have more details on this and all these updates here coming up, but that's a big one we want you to know about, and I'm very excited about. Second, beyond location, another big change, we're going to be having 2 service times. We're going to be meeting at 9 and 11 o'clock. The primary reason for this change, to have 2 services, both identical in style and content, is to keep our total size low and our services personable. If we have a large amount of people come back, to create a socially distant space, we'll have to stretch and fill a pretty large room where the people in the back we're afraid would feel very distant, may not be able to see what's going on the platform, see lyrics and things like that. Creating 2 services keeps our total group size smaller and allows all of us to be closer together, as close as we can be safely anyway. So that's location and service times. Now, kids, what's going to happen with your kids? At this moment, we are not going to be providing any separate Pine Hills, Kendallville kids ministry. Our PH kids will not be meeting separately. However, this doesn't mean that we won't have meaningful ministry for your kids, for families with kids of all ages. We'll be providing activities for kids in service and those who are still tuning in from online, as well as introducing some kid and family-friendly elements into our service. Our service time will be shortened to well under an hour, so those with littles who may not do well with a longer service, I hope that's a good fit for you as well. We'll just ask all families to be responsible for their kids and keep them close so they're socially distant, so we're not running around before and after the service. It'll be a challenge, it'll be different, like all of this, but I think it'll be a great solution for our families with kids. Pre-registration. We're going to be asking everyone who attends to pre-register on the PHK Church Center app. You can actually go on there and see that now. You can open the Church Center app, and if you haven't downloaded it, please do. This is a great reason to do it, so you can let us know if you're coming to join us for worship. But in the bottom right corner, you're going to see events or registrations. You'll click that, you'll find the service you're going to attend, and then you just let us know. That's all you got to do. Let us know the numbers of the people coming. And then what that will do is it'll allow our transition and usher teams to arrange the building to fit the appropriate amount of people, as well as have seats reserved for you and your family. Now, if we have guests, if you forget to pre-register, that's totally fine. We'll have extra seats ready, but it would be doing our teams a massive favor if you could let us know before. I think we'll put it on the app, but by the end of the day Friday or first thing Saturday morning, because we'll use Saturdays to do a little bit of rearranging and setup in the building. Now, one a lot of people have asked me about are masks. I've been wearing a mask most of the time when I'm out and about or in the office with other people. Masks are one of the most effective ways to slow or eliminate the spread of the COVID-19 virus. For this reason, all staff and volunteers on Sunday mornings will be wearing masks for everyone else's safety, and we'll invite you to do the same as well. If you don't have a mask, we'll have masks available in adult and children's sizes for you as you arrive. No problem at all. We see this as a small way that we can just make sure that it is a safe and welcoming place to anyone who wants to join us for worship. Sanitization goes along with that. We're working on creating an entirely touchless Sunday morning experience from the entry, coming on in. We'll have the doors open for you. We'll discourage handshakes and hugs for this season. We're not going to be giving you a paper worship guide. We won't be using pens and things like that. We'll adapt the way we celebrate communion, and we'll have offering baskets available at the back of the room when you leave the service instead of passing plates. We'll also be using our volunteer teams to sanitize all touch points throughout the building before and after services. This includes doorknobs, restrooms, as well as every seat in our space for worship. Now, one more here, and this is a big one. This is one of my the changes I'm most excited for: live streaming. Live streaming, we realize that there are a lot of families who aren't yet ready to come back to church in person or to be in any large group gathering right now. And we respect that, and we want to honor that. But we don't want to say goodbye to those families when we come back. Some of us come back to meet in person. Additionally, over the last 3 months, we've seen our church grow in some really exciting ways, and we've had people watching from a number of different states and even internationally. We don't want to say goodbye to you if that's you. If you can't get here, if you're not local, you're still a part of our church. We want you to be able to participate. So instead of doing a pre-recorded service that we then show on a Sunday morning, we're going to have an actual live streamed service that you can interact, participate in worship in real time along with your church family who's there in person. Those are some big ones. I know there's going to be more. I hope this is a little bit just giving you a range of ideas, the things that are going to be happening, the guidelines that we're trying to put in place to keep our church both safe and effective. We want to be safe, but we also want to be effective to the mission of bringing, building, and sending, the mission that we believe God has given us. I'm confident also that as soon as we get used to these changes, more changes will come. Things will probably look different on July 12th than they will on July 5th as we learn from our first time on the 5th and we make changes for the 12th. So thank you for being flexible and gracious with your leaders, with your pastor, with the ministry, with the staff. We are trying our best to be prayerful and diligent in these decisions, and we so appreciate your support. If you have any questions at all or comments, or maybe you think some of these could be done differently or better, please reach out to me directly and personally, markb@pinehillschurch.com. I would love to hear, I'd love to dialogue about those things, and I'd love to have that conversation with you, maybe even before you move, and have that conversation with other people in the church so that we could see if there are ways that we could adapt some of our guidelines to serve our church even better. That's about it for today. I know it's a lot. We'll be sending this out via email as well, so you can see all these, you can read them at length, then we can dialogue about them as you have questions. Thank you again for your support. I'm so excited to meet together for worship, to sing, to pray with our church body. It's going to look different, but it's going to be a great time. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.